So this is a little tutorial on how I'm doing this chess box. Somebody asked me how I would do it. This is how I do it. So let's just run through the video. This is a typical Darth Vader chess box. We've got 3 groups of 3 here. Ignore the green, that was just a test to show that you can do different colors. So these groups of 3 flash on and off in a sequence right out of the movie, at least the beginning part of it. And on the right, we've got a solid blue over top of a solid red. They stay on all, and this is what the code looks like. Let me just step through some of that now. So right off the top, we're going to include the fastled.h header. That just gives a bunch of functions to the program, so you can kind of make use of functions and not have to type a bunch of code out. First thing we see here is define how many LEDs we got. Well, we got 11, and they are numbered 0 to 10. Computers like to start at 0 as their number 1. So we've got the 3 groups of 3 in the reds, and then we've got the 1 blue with the 1 red for a total of 11. Here is data pin 14. That's the pin that we're taking off the Arduino Pro Mini chip to send our data. I'll show you an example of that. And here we're just referring to that number of LEDs variable. We've made it 11. We're referring to it here by its variable name. This also could say 11, but in this case, yeah, we're going to be using this later on. Every Arduino program has a little setup section. So the functions begin with the word void, and then the function name, some brackets, and then curly brackets to have all your stuff inside of. And there'll always be one on the bottom here to encapsulate the whole function. And the only thing we're doing here pretty much is telling it what kind of NeoPixel LEDs they are. These are all the different kinds. These are the ones I'm using. I tend to leave these in commented out. The 2 slashes mean that ignore that line. It's just there for reference. And then I do a clear coming out of it. Probably don't have to do that, but I throw it in there just in case. Void loop is the main programming loop that the lights are going to run through over and over again when they get power and until they're powered off. So let's just get that video in here. And keep in mind that this is very simplified code, so you can kind of quickly see what's on, what's off, that kind of thing. If you want to get fancy with it and throw everything in a function, it's up to you. So let's just step through the code and we'll play the video, and I'll stop it here and there and show you what we're doing. So right off the top in the loop, this is the thing that's going to get repeated again and again as soon as you power it on until you deprive it of power. We're setting up our initial look. So right off the top, we've turned number 9, which is this one, blue, number 10, which is this one, red. We've turned them on, and we're going to leave them on because from what I saw, they always stay on. Then these little rows of 3 here, we're going to set them up in this way. So I've renumbered the array of LEDs so they correspond more with where they appear physically. So here we've got 6 is in the top right, 7 is in the middle top, and then 8 is in the top left. And the one here that's red is actually number 4, and that's in mid-center. So right off the top, we're turning everything black, 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 except this one in the middle. So let's play it and see what the next step is. So this one turned off and this one turned green. And I just turned to green to have an example of the different colors you can have. So to do that, we turn number 4, which is this one in the middle, mid-center. We turn it black, can't see it, it's off. And we turned number 7, which is top center, green. And then we showed it, and then we waited 2 seconds. And then under here, we turn number 7, previously green, to black. It's off now. And then we turn 4 red. And these stay on all the time. So we do 2 seconds and we wait again and just play it on through and so on and so on. So it's just a case of turning these different colors. Let's wait till we get into a double LED, which is coming soon. Boom. So this one here, you'll see there's more code. It kind of tells you what's going on there. So in this case, we have the top center right there is red, bottom right is red, and bottom center is red. And then the previous one, which was top right, that one turned off. That one was turned black. So let's just look at the code now. What are we going to get here? Looks like, let's play it through. So that one is, we turn off the previous one here that was red. 7 is now black, and then we're going to turn on 8, 3, 0, and 1. And in this case, we're actually repeating LEDs that are already turned on. You actually don't have to do that. If there's no change, you could actually take this code out, and that would be exactly the same. And we'll let it play on, etc., and so on. And near the end of the sequence that I've got, it turns everything off. And you do that. That's the code is out for that, but it is the fast LED clear. So if you do that and uncomment it, what it's going to do at the very end is it's going to make everything black. You probably don't want that. That's probably why it's commented out. In the video, it's older code. So that's essentially, in a nutshell, how you do that. And that's pretty much it. Things to be aware of. This type, when you're calling colors on this thing, you're actually going to start with an uppercase in all of the different kind of primary colors. You can actually use your own custom codes in here. I leave that up to you to research. You're not just stuck with the primary colors. You can actually use fairly custom ones by calling this kind of thing. LED, and then instead of the CR, RGB, red, green, blue stuff, you can give it this hexadecimal number, and you can find tables on the internet. This is on, just do a search for GitHub, fast LED, pixel reference. So you have all of these crazy colors if you want to get cool with it. Oh, it looks like they also have accompanying real world name colors here. But the primary ones are easy enough to get. And here's what the whole thing looks like laid out. So this is just one big array, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. And we're keeping close eye on the arrows. See how it's leaving the Arduino. And it's going forward, forward, forward all the way. Even when you get to these guys here, you see, yeah, it is. The arrow is always kind of terminating in that direction. Very quickly, this is kind of what it looks like on the other side. I've taken these LED light strips and kinked them so that they fit in line with the holes here. These are where the coin slots go. You don't want a diffuser of some sort. I usually cut off clear or opaque milk container things and put them in front wherever you got. And here's the Arduino Pro Mini and an FTDI programmer. So the pins I'm using are ground, and then VCC for power, and then this is pin 14. It's beside 13. It's actually not called 14. It's called A0. Yeah, so you can see the 10, 11, 12, 13, A0. That's actually pin 14. I use that for some reason. And you program it in the Arduino IDE using this thing. You pick the COM port. There's videos on that. But it comes in here, does this, and then hits this one and that one. And it's very important. You see these little arrows? Hard to see. That you maintain that direction. So it comes off the Arduino going in this direction, this direction, this direction. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how that works. So here's one of the single LEDs I was using. They are a pain to solder. I've got a Weller WS2812b with a really small tip, which is nice for that. I tip each one of them with solder, the wires that is, before I try to get them on there. So you have to do a lot of practice. And then these ones are just using LED strips. They come in like a thing like this, and you just kind of snip them off. If I wanted to, I probably, instead of using these little single ones, I could have just, cut the strip. And as you can see, I've kinked them, which you can quite a bit, to get them into the spaces you want before you put the coin slots in and diffuse them with whatever you want. And again, there's the directional there. Directions, you always have to maintain that. I tend to use the darker color for the ground here. Yeah, so the dark brown is for my ground. And then the Arduino itself, I've got just straight DuPont connectors, very crudely crimped. You're going to need like a special tool for that. And then as far as power, you can get like a 4 AA battery holder. AA batteries are 1.5 volts each, and that'll get you to 6. And you basically just hook the ground up to the ground and the power to the power, and then usually they have an on-off switch, and away you go. So that's what you can use if you want to power these things. You can even use kind of a phone charger, which are 5 volts. Take the USB cord off of that, cut it, and then use the ground and the power, and you can just chuck away the data. So that is that, a poor man's Vader box light deal.